Hey, my name is Martin Berry. I'm the secretary of the campaign. I'm here to meet the MP for Rochford and Southend East, James Duddridge, in whose constituency the land that we're campaigning for lies. He's so far declined to meet representatives en bloc through our campaign committee, but he has agreed to meet just myself, and that's what I'll be doing this afternoon. I hope that in that meeting that he'll give us his support. If he can give us some broad ideas of what his solutions are to the housing crisis in Southend, we're certainly interested to hear those, and perhaps if he can give us some sort of broad agreement, at least on some points of the campaign. I certainly hope that he'll give us at least something that we can work with between us and him. He is, after all, the elected MP for the area. The people we're campaigning for are all the people, 1,500 of them on the Council House waiting list. A lot of people who, for one reason or another, aren't on the Council House waiting list because they're ineligible or for other reasons, and are currently living with friends on sofas, in temporary accommodation, or even in long-term accommodation that they're really struggling to afford. Those are the people that we're campaigning for, and we would rather hope that, as they're his constituents, that Mr Duddridge will agree to campaign for them as well. Hello, Martin Berry here from Fawcett's campaign for James Duddridge. Thank you. I'm just out of the meeting with James Duddridge, pretty much as I'd expected, really. He's coming up with a load of distractions and reasons why he won't support it as a local MP. His main point being that he doesn't think it's right that there should be estates which are nothing but social housing. He thinks that having a 30% ratio to 70% of executive homes is perfectly acceptable. In fact, that is the legal minimum requirement, and that's under planning regulations. That's why Homes England have put their indication in at that figure. They could wiggle it down a bit even, so that we get fewer in the end than 30% even. He was talking more about, if we're going to campaign for something, why not campaign for more social housing in the empty shops in the high street and things like that. I made the point there that the difference is that those empty shops aren't owned by the public, as this current land is. They're not up for grabs at the moment, as this current land is, and there's no. We could have some houses built in Fawcett's Farm in 2 years' time, whereas it would be barely getting off the starting blocks for anything that was done in the high street. That doesn't mean that we wouldn't be in favour of a social housing campaign in the high street, but it's not what we're working on. We're working on Fawcett's Farm. He seems happy to have, he definitely is happy to have 70% executive homes and up to 30% social housing. When I put it to him that his objection to having a big estate just of social housing surely would mean that we could have a mixed estate with 70% social housing and 30% executive homes. His objection to that is, there would not be a developer willing to do it. I'm certain there would be, that many housing associations, for example, would be, but I'm not in that meeting, and probably nowhere ever else am I going to get away from my initial thought that we want 100% social housing on that land. He also asked us about looking at other land that might be available so that we could have social housing in small pockets throughout the borough. But the fact is, there isn't that land available. The council, unlike some councils, doesn't own big chunks of land. We've got a very good opportunity here with Fawcett's. It's public land. It can be used for public housing, and that's what we've got to continue campaigning for. James Duddridge just won't agree with that, and he said we're welcome to invite him to our future meetings, but he won't be coming because he agrees with government policy that when it is sold, the money from those executive homes will go into the government housing pot, not be used locally, and it'll be market forces that decide. So it's disappointing but not unexpected.